Hey everybody, what's going on? Thanks for swinging by. I sure do appreciate it. If this is your first time with the channel, my name is Mark.
Oh, hi Mark.
Welcome to Fit and Fire. Let's get into this video. This time we're going to be talking about the Midwest Industries Alpha Series furniture set. I'm on the road this week and I just wanted to take a second to kind of step away and do a bit of a first impressions of this furniture set and kind of give you my ideas and the kind of reasons why this is even a thing. Before we get into that though, I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite AK? What is your favorite AK setup? Sound off down in the comment section. Let me know how you prefer your AKs set up. That would be pretty awesome. In addition to that, if you guys are interested in supporting the channel, the best way to do that is to swing on by Ballistic Inc. and check out some of the merch that I have in my store. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment. Or if you want to become a member of the channel, that would be awesome as well. All that information is down below. Okay, so let's get into it. The Alpha Series is a furniture set that kind of derives its aesthetic from the Zenitco furniture set. And a lot of people are saying, well, this is just a knockoff of the Zenitco, and you know, maybe there is some truth to that, but I will say that this really kind of does its own thing as well. And we'll talk about that through this video. So let's talk about the hand guards, we'll talk about the optics setup, and then the buttstock going front to back. GT style, I guess, right? Tip to butt. All right, so the Alpha rail is offered in two different lengths. You either have the 10-inch, which is what we see right here, or the 6-inch, which stops at the handguard retaining bracket, which would be more of a standard length handguard of what you would find on AK-47s. So that is the differences between these two. As you can see, it takes a lot of its design cues from the Zenitco, like Sporter 1 handguard, and the thing that I think that Midwest Industries has done better is the fact that they have put M-LOK sections all over the place. Not only at the 6 o'clock for you to put pick sections for like a bipod or hand stop or even a foregrip, but also a couple of different sections on the 3 and 6 o'clock position for you to add any type of IR emitters, lights, or anything else that you want to put on here. Sling loops, maybe you want to put the sling loop further up front than it is here on the retaining bracket. You can do that as well. And then naturally standard 1913 pick section on top. So if you wanted to run an optic further up and you didn't want to get the optics mount that they have, you could do that as well. So that is something I really do like. You're also going to have some QD mounts here on the side for slings as well. But again, if you don't like them this far back, you can put them up forward. Sorry about the dog in the background. It can be kind of annoying, but it is what it is, I guess. Got to deal with what you got to deal with when you're on the road, right? With that being said, let's move back to the optics mount here. This is their red dot optics mount, and they actually offer two different configurations. If you just want the red dot optics mount, this is going to be a T1 footprint. So if you have something that's a an Aimpoint T1, T2, or this Holosun 503G ACSS, which is one of my favorite red dots, or like maybe a Romeo 5 or something like that, you can add this on and it clips in or ties into the handguard as well, making this extremely solid setup. Very much like the B33 from Zenitco. Again, kind of taking the cues, but I think they've done it a little bit better by adding a couple tie-in points here along the rail, making it a little bit more solid. In addition to that, with the way that they have this set up, you can actually co-witness your iron sights through this as well, kind of a lower 1/3, but still be able to access your dust cover as well to do standard maintenance. The other option is going to be a railed dust cover, and that is going to be very much more similar to that of the B33, but it is also going to take a lot of cues from like the Texas Weapon Systems dogleg as well. So if you know how to install one of the doglegs, you shouldn't have any problems with that either. Okay, moving on back to the Alpha stock. This is actually really pretty cool, but there are going to be some nuances that you're going to need to know about. Realistically, the first thing that you need to know is in order for you to add this stock onto the rifle, you're going to have some type of Picatinny section, whether that is from the manufacturer or you're going to have to put one in yourself. Now, this is the Midwest Industries Alpha pick section, whatever they call it, but it actually installed extremely easy. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But this Alpha stock here is really pretty cool because you are able to adjust its length of pull by, just pushing this button here, and then by unscrewing these two screws right here, you can adjust the comb height as well. So that's something I really thought was pretty cool, and they actually put a little forethought into the design of this as well. They have some QD sections here for slings, so that's pretty cool. You have the ability to raise and lower the butt pad here, and you can adjust it along the pick section. So maybe you want the entire thing up a little bit higher, you can do that. Maybe you just want it right in the center, you can do that as well. There's a couple of different combinations, and it will fit pretty much anybody who is wanting to run this AK. And that's something that has been a big complaint for a lot of people, is that the length of pull on a standard comm block AK is a little too short for a lot of people. A lot of the taller, bigger guys, that's a problem. For me, it's not that big of a deal because I'm pretty short as it is. But there is that. Now let's talk about the installation of this entire set. It took me, I would say, probably about 30-ish minutes to install everything, and that is pretty remarkable in my eyes. I do have a set of Zenitco on my SLR 107, and just to install the handguards, the Zenitco handguards, the Sporter 1 onto the SLR 7, it was like 2 hours worth of fitting, sanding the back part of the handguard to fit into the receiver. That's what took the majority of the time. For this, just hit it with the Dremel a few times just to get the correct thickness for the rail to fit into the receiver. That was the biggest thing. Took just maybe 2 or 3 passes and it was set in. Then you just need to get the retainer bracket here and clip it in, and you're good to go. One of the things I will say about the installation of the red dot setup here is it basically can break down into 3 sections. You have your left side, your right side, and then the optic plate as well. And I would highly recommend you guys to go ahead and install that piece by piece. Start with one side and then add the red dot onto the plate, and then install the plate and then add the other side as well. The little flip lever here for the gas tube got in the way, and I had to loosen everything out when I was trying to do it all at once, and then push that little lever down and then put it all back together again. That was something that was a little bit of a headache. It wasn't that big of a deal. It took me just a few minutes to figure all of that out, but just be mindful of that. And then back here on the buttstock, The biggest thing with that, again, like I mentioned, is you're going to have a Picatinny section. Now, this is set up on an PSA 103, and the installation on this was super, super easy. Like I already mentioned on the handguard, it went in with very minimal fitting. Everything else synced up just fine. And the cool thing about it is, on the handguard, you have your buttstock tang right here. If you are going to be using it like with a wasser, then you're going to have to cut that tang off to be able to fit the Picatinny section. However, with the PSAs, at least the new ones, this 103, that tang just falls away and the pick section inserts really easy. You got to take the pistol grip off, but once you take that off, it inserts in, reinstall the pistol grip, and then put a screw up top here, and boom, it is ready to go. So like I said, installation of all of this was maybe 30 minutes, maybe just a little bit longer than that, but very much less than an hour for sure. All right, so what has been my experience since I've had this on here? Well, I've only got about 100 rounds through it, one range trip, and I really, really do like it. The handguard dissipates heat very well. I didn't have to wear a glove like Clayco talks about with some of his AKs and how he's changed them up a little bit. The buttstock here has been very, very comfortable for me to shoot as well. Might need to do a little bit of adjustments on this just to get it exactly where I want it, but ultimately it is been very, very comfortable. And then the cool thing, like I already mentioned, with the red dot here, I can still co-witness my iron sight. So if I'm not really too sure about my red dot shooting at distance, you know, if I've got my iron sights already sighted in, then I can just use the graduation on the rear sight and maybe get those shots in on target, you know, out past 300 yards. So that's been my experience. Now let's talk about some of the downsides with this. First and foremost, everybody knows, or if you don't know, Zenitco is extremely difficult to get right now because of what's going on in Ukraine. There is also a kind of competing import furniture set from Ukraine, and I don't even want to embarrass myself with trying to pronounce it, but it's a pretty cool set, and it's extremely hard to get those right now. If you can get them, they're going to be extremely expensive, so just keep that in mind. Midwest Industries has kind of swooped in with their design and have really kind of undercut that market and have made it more available than what you can get the Ukrainian stuff or the Russian stuff as well. However, one of the downsides is it's been so popular that keeping it in stock has been very, very difficult. And that's kind of surprising. If you would have looked back in January at SHOT Show with everyone's comments and views on the interviews with Midwest Industries, you would see that this was going to be pretty popular. So for them to release it and then just not have the supply chain to keep up with demand was actually kind of surprising. You can still find it, but you're going to maybe need to do a little searching. If you guys are interested in finding it, I'll have links to everything over on fitandfire.com, over on the products and videos tab. You can swing on by and check that out. I'll have a link to that tab down in the pinned comment as well. The next thing that we need to talk about is the cost on this. This is not an inexpensive furniture set from Midwest Industries. It's going to be pretty pricey. Just the handguard and the red dot setup alone is going to be about the same price as just like a top tier handguard from like Knight's Armament for an AR-15. You know, you're talking several $100s for this setup right here. Now, is it worth it? I personally think so, yeah, especially if you're going to be, you know, mounting optics or lights on your handguard, if you want a little extra room for your hand, because you can really get your hand up front here, and that's a couple of different areas that this makes your AK an improvement, but you're going to spend some money on it, right? And that's going to be kind of difficult for someone just getting into the AK world. However, if you are you know, been around for a little bit and you don't have Zenitco money, this is going to be, I think, your next best option. So a couple $100 for the handguard and the optic setup. The rail dust cover is going to be another probably close to $150 as well, maybe close to $200, and your buttstock is going to be a couple $100 too. So I mean, fitted out right here, you're looking at $500 to $600. So you know, that's kind of a jagged little pill for a lot of people to swallow. So just keep all of that in mind as well. Naturally, you can pick up one piece at a time and add as you go. And if you are throwing it on to like a Wasser or even a PSA, you usually can find the PSAs fairly inexpensive, sometimes $600 to $700. If maybe it's a Blim or on sale or something like that. And Wassers, sometimes you can find them dipping down around the $600, which that's really, really surprising to even say that. But the final two things I'll say here real quick is that for you cleaning rod guys, you can't use the cleaning rod with the hand guards. There's just too many attachment points down here that is going to get in the way. You're not going to be able to add that in there. In addition to that, this is only, the hand guards are only set up for the stamp receiver versions as of right now. When I'm filming this and releasing it, it's only going to be for the stamped receiver versions. So if you have like a Sam 7 or a Zastava, these hand guards are not going to work for you. Midwest Industries did say that they are going to be working on that, but they wanted to get this version out first. And I think that that's actually kind of a good thing, because to be honest with you, stamped receiver AKs are a little bit more prevalent than milled or Yugo pattern AKs. So they get it right with this one, maybe make some upgrades for the milled and Yugos, and you got even a better set in the future if you're looking for something for your Sam 7. So there you have it. There is the Alpha series from Midwest Industries. I really like it. I think it's pretty cool. It really makes my AK look pretty freaking awesome as well. But with that being said, sound off in the comment section down below. Let me know, would you use the Alpha series on your AK? That would be really cool. Would you go with the 6-inch or the 10-inch version? You're going to do the stock? Which optics setup are you going to use if you're going to get this set up for your AK? Let me know down in the comments. I am thinking very hard on whether or not I want to use this for Kalashnikon coming up here in just a couple of weeks. It's either this, I'm definitely going to use my Sam 5 on one of the days, but the next day I need to figure out if I'm going to run this or Anya, my Yugo underfolder, or what. So got to figure all of that out here and make sure I get some time out at the range to sight everything in. I'll have a video on my Kalashnikon setup coming up here in just a little bit. I think that that'd be really cool. Clay's done one already, and I really like that video. I thought I'd share my setup with you guys. With that being said, thank you so much for swinging by. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, I'd ask you to consider it. If you like my content, if you like this video, it would be really cool to have you guys jump on board, because I'm going to have a lot more AK videos coming up here in the future as well. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, think about becoming a member or checking out Ballistic Inc. for some merch. That's the best way to support the channel. Sharing this with your friends is pretty cool as well. As always, freedom through strength. Here comes a high five. We'll catch you guys later. Bye, y'all.